Hello, world. I am coming to you live from a walking trail. I usually take mental health walks. Shout out to my friend Caitlin Morris. She's the one who taught me how to take mental health walks. Just go for a walk and talk when you need it. And a walk and talk is basically when you are stressed or maybe not, and you decide to go on a walk and talk to God at the same time. And so whenever I get stressed or in my head or just need to, I come out in nature and walk. And as I was walking, total transparency, at first I was just walking and bumping music and in my feelings, whatever. But getting into more of the talk portion of the walk, I realized that as I keep going through stuff in my own life, as of recent, things that I struggle with have a lot to do with what I'm teaching and what I'm learning in church. What I mean by that is we've been talking about hope a lot at church right now. And in my own life, I've kind of been struggling with hope a little bit. There's a lot going on, and it's just, I find it hard to be hopeful these days. And a few weeks ago, God had me share 4 things with our youth that tend to contend against our hope. And I want to share those 4 things because those 4 things keep coming up for me. And again, it's crazy because you would think I would realize it as it's happening, but in the moment I just feel it, but don't realize it until I take a minute and think about it. So anyways, 4 things that tend to work against our hope. The first thing is comparing and despairing. So this is basically when you're looking at other people's lives and you're comparing their lives to yours, and you're like, what the heck, God? Why is that not happening for me? Do you have favorites? What's going on here? And, that saying, comparison is a thief of joy. So comparing tends to lead us to despair and, it messes with our hope a little bit. So that's the first thing. The second thing is viewing God in light of our circumstances instead of viewing our circumstances in light of God. What that means is when things pop off or when something goes wrong, we tend to allow that to shape the way that we see him. Something goes wrong and we're like, what are you, you're not doing your job. I don't feel like you're being good. I don't feel like you're there at all. And so we allow our circumstances to shape the way we see God instead of allowing God to shape the way we see our circumstances. So instead of saying God is good, God is loving, God is true, even if things are going wrong, we allow circumstances to, dictate what's true about God. So that'll work against your hope. The third thing, as I try to remember without my notes in front of me and I'm walking on a walking trail. So wait, we've got comparing and despairing. We've got viewing God in light of our circumstances. Okay, then we've got loving God without respecting God. So this is God, I love you, and I know I'm supposed to respect you, but sometimes maybe when I get frustrated or when things are happening, I tend to lack reverence or respect, for who you truly are and, the holiness that you have, the authority that you have. And that one, it goes hand in hand with the last one that I just said, viewing God in light of our circumstances, because God is holy and he's sovereign and he's a king. Yes, he's a friend, but he's also God. He is God and we are not. And when we don't remember that, that can mess with our hope. The fourth and final thing is dismissing our need for God. So that is when we basically try to handle everything on our own. When something goes wrong, we just kind of turn inward and we're like, you know what? I'm going to deal with it because it is what it is. And then, we get tired, we get exhausted, we get frustrated, and then we're shaking our fist at God even more, because we've taken it all upon ourselves. So all 4 of these things, these are things that God led me to share with the youth recently at our church. And these 4 things, even just one of them, can really mess with your hope. And I wanted to share them here because if you resonate with any of these 4 things, I want you to know you're not alone. These are things that can mess with your hope. And I hope you will actively work against these things. I hope you will actively depend on God and remember why he's worth depending on. He's holy, he's good, he's righteous, he's truthful. I hope. So that's instead of dismissing your need for God. I hope you will view your circumstances in light of God. Jesus never lied. Jesus never lied about bad things happening. Bad things are going to happen. Things are not always going to feel great, but God is still God, even when bad things pop off. So that's important to remember. So that goes to viewing God in light of your circumstances. Don't compare yourself to other people. Other people's story is not your story. You have your own story, and it's beautiful. Differences are beautiful. So as you compare, also realize you're not seeing the full picture of whatever that person's story is. Whatever you're envying, you don't see the full picture. You don't actually know what's going on there. So don't think it's all it's portrayed to be. And know your story is your own. You have the privilege of having a story, and that is beautiful. So comparing and despairing, viewing your circumstances in light of God, dismissing your need for God, make sure you depend on him. And let's make sure we, respect God and just embrace how much we need him. Every problem or issue is an opportunity to recognize how much we need God and how much we don't have to do on our own. And I don't know about y'all, but it's nice to not have to do everything on your own. I'm grateful God's willing to bear the things that I can't bear, and he's willing to do the things that I can't do. And I think these are times where we have the opportunity to pay more attention to what God does that we cannot. And we ought to thank him for those things. And the final thing I'll say, as I'm a little bit out of breath, because I think I started walking a little faster. The final thing I'll say is, gratitude can really ground you. I just spoke with my mentor about that on the phone. Gratitude and being specific about what you're grateful for. Not just being general, thanks for waking me up this morning. No, what are you specifically grateful for? And I'm personally grateful that God has me teaching others, but also not being a hypocrite, learning from what I'm teaching. And I'm grateful it actually resonates in my life. And I hope that something about this resonates with you. I hope you'll put your hope in God, not in people, because people be trash, but God is not, no matter how bad your situation is. And that's it. I'm gonna finish this walk now. Okay, bye.